Hello, everyone. I'm Lorette Legan, president of the Jacksonville-Onslow Chamber of Commerce. And on behalf of the Chamber membership and the board of directors, I want to thank you for joining us for our Forum Onslow. The Chamber works with government agencies on issues that affect our business community. We monitor legislative issues that impact local businesses. We promote partnerships between business, government, military, and education. And we use these forums to create awareness on topics that are important to our entire community, such as the election of those that represent us on the state and local level. Our sponsor for this Meet the Candidates Forum is the Jacksonville Board of Realtors. Speaking on behalf of our sponsor is Jared Patterson, President and CEO of the North Carolina Business Alliance for a Sound Economy.
Thank you, and welcome to those here at this candidate forum, to those who are here present, to those who are watching on TV or watching online. Welcome. In my capacity leading the Business Alliance, I also serve as the Governmental Affairs Director for the Jacksonville Board of Realtors, which represents over 1,000 realtors who live and work in the diverse communities of Greater Onslow County. Realtors adhere to a strict code of ethics. They are passionate about serving and supporting individuals and families as they pursue their dreams of owning or renting a home and as they navigate some of life's most significant financial decisions. Realtors are equally passionate about building strong, prosperous, and resilient communities, supporting an informed community, responsive government, regulatory efficiency, property rights, and a healthy balance of housing options. And for that reason, civic participation is a hallmark of the realtor profession. On behalf of our CEO, Jamie Cooper, President Jeb Brown, President-elect Jamie Dorn, their fellow board and committee members, an incredible professional staff, and the more than 1,000 members of your local Jacksonville Board of Realtors, I want to thank you all for taking an interest in your government.
Thank you, Jerry. And now I'm going to turn it over to our moderator for the Meet the Candidates Forum, Mr. Bob Dupuy, and our timekeeper is Lachey Cavers. So, Mr. Dupuy, it's all yours.
Thank you, Lorette, and thank you, Jared. Before we start, I do want to look at each of you and say thank you so much for being part of this process. Swansboro is better for your involvement, and I appreciate you. So, but here are your rules of engagement for today. This is a forum, not a debate. You're to address the questions that are posed to you to either me or the camera or the audience out here, not to each other. All questions are going to be general in nature and suitable for all of you candidates. We also ask that you adhere to the time limits. Lachey will be keeping an eye on for you. When you see a yellow light, you've got about 30 seconds to end your response. When you see the red light, your time is up, so please complete the sentence and then stop. Your opening remarks will be 90 seconds. Questions will be 60 seconds. You will have 60 seconds, and then you'll have an opportunity to close and also be given 90 seconds for that. But we'll be keeping track of it for you. For those that are viewing this forum, the candidates that are joining us today are seated in the order that they appear on the ballot. There are a total of 5 candidates, and you may vote for 3, and we have 3 here: Joe Brown, Jeffrey Conaway, and Pat Turner. So, if you have no questions, I'll get ready to start. And we're going to rotate. Joe, give us your opening statement, and you have 90 seconds.
Thank you, Bob. I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce and the Board of Realtors for holding this event and giving us the opportunity to put ourselves out there to be seen and recognized. My name is Joe Brown. I'm married to the wonderful Kathy Brown for almost 50 years now. We moved to Swansboro in 2020. Had a home built here, and we love it here. Things are cruising along for us. I decided in 23 to run for town commissioner. A lot of people said, you know, what do you think's wrong with Swansboro that you need to go in there and fix it? I was like, I can't see anything wrong with Swansboro. You know, I don't. I wanted to put my effort out there and let people know that, you know, I'm available to help and do everything I can do to continue to make Swansboro a great place to live, great place to raise your children, and a great place to retire. And that's what we did, and I hope other people get the opportunity to do the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Jeff?
Hello. Thanks to everyone who put this together. This is a great opportunity for not only me, but three of us. My name is Jeffrey Conaway. I am running for re-election for Swansboro Commissioner. I'm a retired Navy Chief Petty Officer, and as of 30 September, a retired Civil Service Supervisory Contracting Officer's Representative. 18 years ago, my wife and I bought our home in Swansboro, where we began raising our family, and my wife started teaching at Swansboro Elementary School. All three of our children went to Swansboro schools. We chose to live in Swansboro because it reminded us of the small towns that we both grew up in. Over the last 18 years, on numerous occasions, I saw firsthand how our community came together to support one another during hurricane storms and most recently, large developments. That experience taught me the true meaning of resilience and the power of a united community. Still today, many of our neighbors are concerned about traffic, infrastructure stability, and overdevelopment. I'm running for commissioner because I believe we need leadership to not only listens but acts. Leaders willing to compromise for the best interests of the town and its residents. I look forward to discussing my vision with you today and once again earning your trust and vote. Thank you.
Here we go. Pat?
Thank you for the opportunity, and for all the people who are present here and watching on TV. I truly appreciate all of that. My name is Pat Turner. I've lived in Swansboro since 1992. Both of my boys have gone to Swansboro schools. While they were in school, I was active in coaching their basketball teams, their baseball teams. I was active in Boy Scouts with one of my sons, and also a band parent. So I've had a lot of different similarities, in Swansboro. I held a master's degree in human resources, and I have currently the Human Resources Director for Marine Corps Community Services, New River Camp Lejeune, and Albany, Georgia, which has about 2,300 employees that I'm responsible for. In 1997, I was given the opportunity to be part of the planning board. And then I stayed on the planning board as chairperson until 2013, when I was elected as a commissioner, again in 2017 and 2021. In 2023, I was appointed to be a commissioner. If elected, I expect to accomplish many things, especially managed and smart growth, which can be done through zoning and different land use plans. And I'm running because I want this campaign isn't about me, it's about all of the people in Swansboro.
Very good. Thank you, Pat. Okay, on to the questions. Jeff, what is the biggest challenge facing Swansboro, and how do you propose to address it?
Controlling growth. And my proposal would be to, first of all, to get it, we need to utilize the land use plan that we have. Some are saying we need to possibly look into it, and we probably should, because it's been a few years since it's been updated. That is probably the biggest tool to controlling growth. I also support single-family homes more than I do large multi-family homes. So I think if we stick with the single-family home more so than a large multi-family building, we can control it pretty well.
Pat, same question. Biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge, I think, is in managing the growth and sustainability. We also have to look at the infrastructure that we currently have, and it's similar to the chicken and the egg, which comes first. Swansboro is growing, so we know that. And we also know that we have to have police and fire and all those types of different things that we have to have, but we can't have them unless we have the money to to be able to afford those things. So it's sustainability, it's coastal resiliency that we have that's the biggest challenge. And I agree with Jeff that I agree with single-family homes rather than large developments. I think that helps Swansboro, and I think the people in Swansboro like that better.
Joe, tell us your thoughts.
The biggest challenge, I believe, facing Swansboro is growth, whether it be managed growth, unmanaged growth. We have to watch what's going on the peripherals of Swansboro. We just went through a period where we pushed away an apartment complex. Everybody knows about it. That offered us quite a bit of revenue. I appreciate it. I voted no for it as the people spoke, and they said they wanted me to vote no for it, so I did that. But now we have to figure out how are we going to pay our bills. The growth is going to come. We have to manage it. Smaller, maybe more manageable items. Infrastructure has to be brought up. But we also, as Pat said, we need to have the police and the fire and the public services. Without the funds, the bills are still going to come due, and we're not going to be able to afford to do that. So we have to figure something out on that.
Very good. Thank you. Next question, Pat, we're going to start with you, and I think this piggybacks nicely on that. Some municipalities in Onslow County are rewriting their comprehensive plans. What principles should guide land use decisions, market demand, infrastructure, conservation, or anything else?
Well, the last time we did the land use plan, we had citizen involvement. I think that's most important when you're looking at something like this. When you have the citizens involved in making plans for the future, I think that they're the ones that really, the people that have lived in Swansboro are the ones that need to provide us with the information on what they're looking for and how they want to see Swansboro grow. A lot of people in Swansboro still feel that this is a small town and we want to preserve that small historic town. So we just need to take a look at all of what the people want and pay attention and listen to what they have to say.
Very good. Joe?
I agree with Pat. We do need to look at at our land use plan that we have right now, to rewrite it, to modify it, update it, however we're going to call it. But we have to take the multiple choice questions out when we go to the public and ask what their opinion. Don't limit what they can say by making a few choices. Choose this, or this, and now we make that the foundation of our land use plan. The other thing that needs to be addressed is the economic development plan that's supposed to be tied with the land use plan. And when we look at the economic development plan, it was a check the block requirement. Hasn't done anything. I Googled everything I could Google on that, and I can't find anything that the economic development plan has actually done for Swansboro, except possibly bring in Project Coffee, which they're working on now. That's it.
Yeah, I agree with what Pat and Joe said, basically. But for our land use plan, it must be citizen-driven. As Pat was saying, people that have to live through it should have a say in it. That's it.
Very good. All right. What aspect of the growth that you've spoken about you feel is most beneficial to Swansboro? And we'll start with you, Joe.
Aspect of the growth that we've spoken of, obviously the company that came to Swansboro didn't read the tea leaves correctly, didn't judge the public opinion. So we've got to look at the growth. We have to look at what we can facilitate in Swansboro, but we have to look back at the land use plan where it states that single-family dwellings, right, eat up our available land, which we don't have a ton of available land, but it eats up our land, and it also brings smaller revenue to the city. And people think I'm hung up on the revenue, but I've always paid my bills, and I'm still determined to pay the bills for Swansboro.
Yeah.
We've got to we can't live on grants. We can't live on government handouts. You know, that's just crazy. So that's my thought on that.
Yeah, and let me restate the question, make sure I was clear. What aspect of the growth do you feel is most beneficial? Because my next question is going to involve a little bit about what you talked with, that you'll be able to catch it up. Jeff? Beneficial growth.
I think it is with single-family homes, the infusion of more people that are going to stay long-term, which obviously is going to make our population grow, but you're going to get more people coming in with different ideas. There's going to be more income because those people are going to be working in Onslow County more than likely. We'll get some tax revenue, obviously, from property taxes. So I just think the new single-family home would be a huge benefit for us.
Pat, beneficial growth.
So there's not a lot of property left in Swansboro right now. So the benefits of growth are, and I'll agree with Jeff, is single-family homes, which I've said before, but we've also had businesses that have helped us in our growth. Now, I don't think we need any more fast food restaurants because we have a lot of fast food restaurants. But some of the businesses that we do have that are long-term businesses have helped us with our growth. And they've been very beneficial in giving us ideas on what they would like to see Swansboro be like.
Very good. Well, the flip side to the coin, and Joe, I know you started on it a little bit, but what aspect of the growth is the most detrimental to Swansboro?
That's a great big question. I'll tell you. Because it depends on the person looking at it and the angle that they're looking at. I know there's been concern about our infrastructure. So when we had too many people at one time, and that was the argument over Flybridge, we're bringing in a potential 600 people. What is that going to do to our traffic? Our traffic is horrendous, especially around the schools. You go to Queens Creek Road and 24, kids can barely get to school because of the traffic. I'm not sure what the answer is that. There's no room to expand Highway 24, so we have to manage the traffic that we have. The different things that, the Onwassa is doing a great job bringing infrastructure in for the water and the sewer. The schools, we got 2 schools coming in 2029, a middle school, an elementary school, which is going to ease the pressure on that as well.
Very good. Jeff, detrimental growth.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with what Joe said. Stress on the infrastructure is probably the biggest thing. The population growth at schools, which currently our schools in Swansboro are maxed for the most part. So stress on the infrastructure, and of course, everybody's big complaint is traffic. So that's it.
Pat, detrimental.
I don't know that I could add much more. Traffic, traffic, traffic. If you're coming through Swansboro, especially when school is in session or when it's really the busiest time between 3 and 6 or 7, it is unbelievable the traffic that you have in Swansboro. Schools are almost maxed out, if not maxed out, and the Board of Education needs to consider, are they going to build more schools? DOT needs to pay particular attention to our roads. There's been many accidents on Queens Creek Road, many accidents, people turning out of Food Lion, coming into that ongoing traffic. There's been accidents. The infrastructure really needs to be fixed. And again, as I mentioned before, is it the cat or, the egg or the chicken first? Do you build the infrastructure or do you build the fire department, police department, and all of the other infrastructure?
Thank you, ma'am. This next question may or may not apply, and you're welcome to answer it however you see it, but we're going to start with you, Jeff. Delays in permitting, restrictive zoning, and infrastructure limits all drive up housing costs. What policy or process change would you champion to make building or renovating homes more affordable and predictable?
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
I wouldn't, currently for Swansboro, I wouldn't change any part of the process. There has to be a review, so to speak, with, with whether something that's going to be coming before the planning board or the board of commissioners to vote on. The cost, there are costs involved administratively for the town, for the staff, so those obviously have to be covered, so I really wouldn't change anything.
Can you repeat that, please? That was all.
Delays in permitting, restrictive zoning, and infrastructure limits all drive up housing costs. What policy or process change would you champion to make building or renovating homes faster and more predictable?
The one thing that I think about when you ask that question is providing incentives, some type of an incentive that you could give so that builders would come in and build something in Swansboro, if available land, or that permitting, during the permitting process, you could offer incentives for what they want.
Okay. Joe, what do you think?
Well, I know we have increased our permitting staff, our inspection staff, and the process. We've improved our permitting process. We've got a great inspector. We have two great inspectors that work with our contractors to get things done and hopefully head off issues or problems that they might have. A lot of it is not necessarily the permitting process as it is the contractors willing to work with the city to get it done right. I've seen our inspector, Mr. Ingram, go out and stop projects because contractors were not doing what they were supposed to do. And as long as we have that, then we are going to have to keep a watchful eye on them. But I think we've got the staff to do it. And right now, at this point in time, I don't think I would change a whole lot on it.
Okay, fair enough. All righty. If the town of Swansboro, here we are, Santa Claus, were to receive a $5 million grant to use any way you wanted,
Stop.
what would you do with it and why? Pat, take us down this one.
$5 million. I'd add it to our safety building or emergency operations center. I would build the infrastructure. I would add more fire and police and more town staff so that we could address the needs of the public and what they want.
Very good. Joe?
Pat stole all my thunder on that one. That's all right, though. $5 million added to our current money for our emergency operations center and our safety center. That's the brick and mortar, but we also have to have our police, our wages for our police and fire and our staff to make sure that we can retain the quality of personnel that we have today. Parks and Rec could use a little boost in the arm. We could spend that $5 million. I don't think we'd have a big problem with that. But there's a lot of little things, little nick-noy things that need to be taken care of. Infrastructure is just one of them. We've allocated funds for like our sidewalk, a pickleball court for the senior citizens' quality of life, different things like that. We've already allocated the money. Maybe we can take some of that $5 million and push it over the finish line.
Very good. Thank you, Joe. And Jeff, let me be clear, this was hypothetical. I'm not really giving you $5 million. So, all you, sir.
Check.
Yes? Yes. Yeah, I think I would put some of it towards the Emergency Operations Center Public Safety Building, as I like calling it. Yeah, I would like to see more with parks and possibly the historic district. The historic district is a big thing for us. It's a big tourism, and there's some cleanup stuff that can be done that money could be used for also.
Very good. All righty. We've touched on this a little bit in a previous question, but what role should community input play in local government? Joe?
Say the question again?
I'm sorry. What role should community input play in local government?
Well, I think it's obvious, as I sit here today, that community input is paramount. We look at that. People tell me you were elected to do the people's bidding, and I agree with that. But I also have to season that with I'm also elected to do what I think is right for the city. Now, I can't succumb to every. You got 10 different groups out there screaming 10 different things. Which one do you listen? Somewhere in the middle, you've got to find out what you're doing, and you put your best foot forward and say, this is what I see is best for the city. I was told by one of our constituents that we don't need you as a daddy. We need you to do what we tell you to do. Well, I'm sorry. That doesn't work for me. I'm going to do what I think is right for the city, and I hope that I can bring in everybody to agree with that. Yeah.
Fair enough. Jeff?
Yeah, Joe mentioned that really came out big time recently with the Flybridge project, and it just kept growing and growing and growing as far as that group. But those folks do elect us. We are supposed to speak for them at this level. So it's important. Our meetings used to be very small. Pat can tell you, Joe can tell you, we'd sit there, might be 3 or 4 people out there.
Looks similar to this.
Similar to this. And, I kind of enjoyed it a little bit when this came up because it filled up. And people started learning, for the most part, how the process goes and how things work. So I think it's very important. There are going to be times when groups are going to disagree and it's really close, but that's where compromise comes into play.
And I would have to agree with both of the people up here also, but I do believe community involvement is utmost important. And we have experienced that in 2 different situations, one with Walmart when it was built, and then one with the Sky Bridge. And when groups of people get together and they really push for you to make a decision, it's really tough not to, when you're looking out at the audience and you see all these people out there, then you want to be able to listen to what they have to say and make the right decision. And there is times when 50% of the people are going to like you and 50% of the people aren't going to like you for the decisions you make. But we are here to make the best decision for the city of Swansboro and listen to the people.
Very good. The classic close play at the plate. 50% think you got it right, and 50% think you're an idiot. There you go. Very good. All right. Next question, Jeff, we're going to start with you. What do you feel is the smartest decision that was made to benefit Swansboro in the last 10 years? Hands down, best decision.
I think it was within 10 years. I'm not sure, Pat, you might be able to help me on this, but Swansboro used to own their own municipality, and then they sent it over to Onwassa. Was that within 10 years? And
More than that.
I would say that because that alone, when that happened, shortly after that, we had multiple water main breaks along 24, and that would have busted the town big time. I couldn't see how they could have afforded it. So I would say whenever we sold out to Onwassa, basically.
Okay. Pat, best decision.
Actually, there's a couple of best decisions, but one of the best decisions was when we had citizen involvement with our land use plan. And we had a group of people who got together and made a good land use plan that's still in effect today. And then the second one, if I could, is recently the Flybridge decision that was made to not move forward with having 300 units just down the street from us that probably would have put about 600 cars on the road, and our infrastructure could not have handled that.
Very good. Joe, best decision.
Well, because I've only been here for involved with the local government for a short period of time. one of the best decisions that I can recall in my tenure is taking up Charleston Park. Charleston Park is a community in Swansboro that was basically left out there on their own with a contractor who did some shoddy work for them. My issue coming in, and I think this helped me get elected, was we're taking their tax dollars, but we're not supporting their community. So, if you pay taxes in Swansboro, you should get some benefit from that. And we did that. We took Charleston Park onto our rolls, the roads, the streets, the curbs, et cetera, and we made safety repairs, and now they're in our normal rotation for maintenance of the road. So I thought that was a really good thing that we did.
Very good. All right, flip side to the coin. You probably saw it coming. What do you feel is the greatest mistake or missed opportunity to happen in Swansboro in the last 10 years? Oh, I'm sorry. I got to figure out which one of you is next here on this one. Pat, go ahead.
The biggest mistake.
Did you get any calls wrong at the plate?
Oh, Lord.
No, we get it right all the time. If I were to say what's the biggest mistake, and it's not really a mistake yet, but we didn't move fast enough with the safety building and the emergency operations center. I think when we got the money, we should have moved a little quicker than what we have.
Okay. Joe?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Pat on that. The money that we have for our emergency operations center slash public safety building, it's been sitting there. We didn't put it in the right bank account when we first got it. Now we have it in the right account now. We're drawing interest on it, so maybe that's a good thing. But we have a commitment to build that building. We've been lucky. We haven't had a storm. We haven't had to need of a EOC, and so we're getting by right now. But I agree, the biggest mistake we did is not pulling triggers fast enough, not getting property purchased, and not getting this thing started.
Very good. Jeff, missed opportunity.
Yep, I agree. That public safety building, there should be walls going up right now, and there's not, and I didn't enjoy the process at all. I'm still not liking the process right now, but yeah, we didn't move fast enough.
Very good. Okay. This is a good one here. What metrics or how would you judge to determine if public safety is effective? And I don't mean just police, but fire and EOC. How do you measure the effectiveness? And Joe, let's see. Joe, we're going to start with you. Effectiveness of your public safety. Everything.
The effectiveness of our public safety, when I look at, and I talk to the chief, both fire chief and police chief often, our response times, the availability of our police officers and firefighters. I don't think we have any issue with our firefighters. Police officers, we could use some more. So the effectiveness of our police force, again, comes down to their response time and the coverage that they have. As far as again, like I just said, we haven't had a storm, so we hadn't really judged our effectiveness on how we react to a hurricane or a major storm. So I think we have to focus on our police force, and that's not to say they're bad in any way, shape, or form, but I think we need to enhance their abilities by funding them at a higher rate. Also, all of the salaries for our public safety people need to be enhanced so we can make sure we have that same posture for years to come.
Very good. Jeff?
Like Joe, I do have a lot of discussions with our police chief and fire chief. I agree definitely with the response times, and I think ours are pretty good also. Mm-hmm. One of the things, though, I kind of judge it by is, we have a lot of accidents on 24. If our police, and with them being shorthanded, had more of a presence on 24, might cut down on some of the accidents that were caused by speeding, caused by running red lights, which seem to be the majority of our accidents. Those two things are usually involved, whether it's speeding or running a traffic light or a stop sign.
Pat?
Response time. Not every meeting, but at least once a quarter, our fire chief does get up and tell us the statistics of response time and how long it takes for them to get someplace, and they compare it to other municipalities. We seem to be doing really well with that. So I think the fire department, the statistics are pretty good. When you come to the police, I don't know that we have enough police. And like Jeff said, we have many accidents. A lot of people seem to want to run the red lights, and we just don't have the presence of the police to sit out there and watch the people run the red lights. So therefore, we have accidents. And, you know, there's got to be another way that we can somehow help the police, whether it's getting them more people, and that's the infrastructure again. So, you know, but response time is the biggest thing I think you can look at.
Okay. Well, we've burned through all the questions I had for you. Nicely done. So you've given the folks that will be voting, that you hope that are your constituency, a flavor of who you are. I'm going to give you 90 seconds to close it. And Jeff, I'm going to start with you. You got 90 seconds. Anything you want, it's yours.
One of the things that I can bring to the town is a vision for long-term planning that will set Swansboro on a path towards a more sustainable, valuable future. Also, people like to have been asking me, you know, what have you done in the last 4 years? Well, no tax increases in 4 years, 7 new police cars, new firefighting equipment. I only voted for one rezone, completion of section of downtown dock walk, voted to approve funding the visitor center, champion demolition by neglect for our historic district, voted for Town of the Towers, Swan Fest, completed sidewalks on Hammocks Beach Road and Old Hammock. Going stuck. Champion road repairs, acceptance of roads in Charleston Park, voted for pay raises for police and firefighters every year, voted to downzone Water Street from B2 to R6, remove sign immortalization from business owners, and limited campaign signs to 1 per candidate per parcel per town road. Voted against the social district. I will continue to work hard to serve our community and would be honored to once again have your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Pat, sum it up.
Okay, so I'm running for Swansboro Commissioner to ensure our town continues to grow responsibly and successfully. I've been part of this town for many years. I want my children and grandchildren to be part of Swansboro because I believe in what Swansboro stands for. I have a passion for Swansboro. I'm committed to the people of Swansboro and their vision and what they have to say. I will listen to them. Growth should make the town financially stable, but doesn't mean it should grow bigger. So with that in mind, that comes back to managing growth and watching how things are working in Swansboro and dealing with the infrastructure. So the campaign here isn't about me. It's about the people of Swansboro and working together with the people in Swansboro.
Pat, thank you. Joe?
A couple of tough acts to follow there. I didn't print out everything that we accomplished, because we accomplished quite a bit in the last 2 years. My thought on Swansboro, again, like Pat said, growth is it's coming. You know, everybody said change is inevitable, but you have to manage the change that you're handed. You know, so speaking with some folks that are in the know, the real estate folks, we do need to look at different methods or models of growth for Swansboro. You know, we're one lane, or we're one highway going through, don't have a lot on either side. We can go west. We can't go east because we run into the water. We can go west, and that's the western corridor is going to be the future of Swansboro. We can add things into our city, within our city limits right now, that will enhance Swansboro. Will it bring enough revenue to pay the bills? As I say, nothing is going down in price that I've seen lately. So we have to address those issues. The prices are rising. We're going to have to pay the bills. And like I say, I'll be 69 on Thursday, and all that time I've paid my bills, and I don't see that changing anytime soon.
Good. Thank you, Joe. That concludes this part of the forum. And before I turn it back to Loretta, I want to reiterate, thank you so much for being part of this process and helping your community. So very good. Loretta, all you.
Thank you so much. Thank you to the candidates. Thank you for your decorum. We always appreciate that. Thank you to the City of Jacksonville for use of these facilities, and of course to Bob Dupuy and Lachey Cavers for keeping y'all on track, and then our forum sponsors, the Jacksonville Board of Realtors. Now, if you missed any part of the Forum Onslow, just check the listings for G10 for the rebroadcast dates and times. Remember, your vote is your voice and matters important to the town of Swansboro. Absentee ballot request forms are available online at the Onslow County Board of Elections website, as well as the dates and times for early one-stop voting, which will all be held at the Onslow County Board of Elections office. Election Day is November the 4th from 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. at your local precinct. On behalf of the Jacksonville-Onslow Chamber of Commerce, thank you for joining us for our Meet the Candidates Forum. This concludes our program.